evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. We hope that you enjoyed the evening that we have planned for you. My name is Lori Sherman, and I have the pleasure of being your Eastern Region Vice President. We're honored that you're here with us tonight. Tonight we will be celebrating the beginning of a new year. A year in which we will decide the fate of public education in November when we vote on November 6th. Our theme this evening is making a world of difference for our members and school children. The luminaries on the tables represent the stars in the skies. As I look around, I am so blessed to see we have stellar public education advocates here who work side by side with us at promoting public education. One thing that we all share is that we will continue the legacy to tirelessly fight and continue the fight for the rights of our members and the school children we serve. We are all deeply committed to the success of our students, our profession, and our association. As our past elections have shown us, we all need to continue the legacy to tirelessly fight for the rights of our members and the school children we serve. We must continue to be deeply committed to the success of our school children, our profession, and our association. We must be public education strong to make a world of difference. I would like to take this time to thank Joanne Maurer from our region office for helping to organize this beautiful event for us tonight. In addition, I want to send out a huge thank you to Jenna Broadhead and Sandy Madera for stepping up and taking over the LDC and conventions chairs. This is the group that made sure registration ran smoothly. Let's give them all a round of applause for what they did. And it is now my pleasure to introduce our region secretary, Elaine Hinderleiter, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's my pleasure to introduce Tim Kearney, Eastern Region 3rd Rep.
So I heard the theme was space, and I actually went to space camp. That's what this outfit is about. And I only get to wear it at Halloween or space events, so that's how I wore this. So as I was preparing the prayer tonight, I was thinking about the different planets and how it relates to you. So I need all aspiring educators, please stand. I pray for you because you remind me of Mercury, and I hope you never lose that energy and motion and excitement about education. Next, all the females, please stand up. Females, you remind me of Venus, the only planet named after a goddess. And I just pray that someday we won't have to talk about equal pay for equal duty or anything like that. Next, ESPs, please stand. ESPs. ESPs. You remind me of the earth, you are rock solid. Don't ever forget the strength and the power that you have. Next, Mars. I need all the nurses, psychologists, guidance counselors, please stand. Thank you. So you remind me of Mars. I was thinking about the red planet, remind me of blood, and my wife is a doctor, and my sisters are nurses. And I just pray that you will have a healing touch all the students that you reach. You're becoming more and more important with the troubled times that we have, the kids that you reach. I pray for you. Jupiter, I need all of the local presidents to please stand. Local presidents, please stand. Local presidents, remind me of Jupiter, you are the giants in this organization. When people have trouble, you're usually the people that we come to. My local president, Deb, has been fighting this week for children not to be in rooms that were 120 degrees. Something she should not have to fight for. And all of you are fighting for important issues. Please keep up the good work that you're doing. Next, Saturn rings. Anybody that's married or has children, please stand up. Saturn isn't the only planet with rings, it's just the most important. I pray for anybody that took that commitment, has children or a spouse. I pray for you that you'll never forget that this job can be very trying. Don't ever forget the personal relationships you have, and don't let your job overpower the personal relationships you have. And please always, always, always take care of yourself, because you'll never be a great spouse, a great parent, if you're not taking care of yourself first. Thank you very much for what you do. Next, when I told Brian I was going to do planets, he was a little bit worried about Uranus. Retired PSEA, please stand up. There's a reason, retired. The only reason I said Uranus is because you're pretty far away from the beginning of your career. And I pray that you find happiness in the new phase of your life. Neptune, blue planet. All of you, please stand up. Any member of PSEA, please stand up. Sorry, or just wave at this point. So, I pray for all of us in this room. You all are advocates for children. I pray that you take that seriously. That when somebody criticizes the union, first of all, you don't deserve that. You are standing up for children in our profession, and you should never be attacked for that. I pray for you that you have the strength to speak up when people talk negatively about our union. The reason I said blue is because we have PSEA blue. I forget the shade. There's a certain shade of PSEA blue.
You're looking like you're wearing it.
Thank you. I pray for all of us. Pluto, I just want to try to remember anybody that has passed on, just like Pluto's kind of forgotten. Anybody that has passed on in our personal lives. Lastly, during this school year, you will face obstacles. I was thinking of something that I saw. So if I said that your whole body could fit through this, most of you would say that's impossible, there's no way. It's a barrier, it's an obstacle, there's absolutely no way. But I pray for us that we will see obstacles as just challenges to see things differently. Because hopefully, I didn't try this at home, but hopefully if you, nope, I screwed it up. I'm going to work on it. Maybe I can come back later, but there is a way. No, it's back home. Sorry. So there is a way. I'll show you later if you're interested. I'll be in the back someplace. But there is a way that you can actually walk through it. I pray for all of us, seriously, that you have a great year. Thank you. I pray for a prayer of thanks for all the people that helped us out. Just have a great evening, fellowship with each other tonight, fellowship in the buildings when you go back. I appreciate all of you. Keep up the great work. Thank you, God, for allowing us to do the great work that we do. Thanks.
Hello, everybody. My name is Wayne Smith. I am the Region Treasurer, and it is my job tonight to introduce our guests that we have. But before we do this, while Tim was down there reading things out, I would like to do something that everybody stands to. I would like anybody that's over the age of 23 that has a space camp suit. Enough said. It is my pleasure to introduce our dignitaries tonight, and the first person I'd like to introduce is our president of PSEA, Dolores McCracken. Sitting to Dolores' left, I'm very honored to introduce Tom Wolf's running mate for Lieutenant Governor, John Fetterman. We also have some special guests here tonight from the United Way. So I'd like to introduce David Lewis and Daniela De Leon from the United Way of the Greater Lehigh Valley. And Tammy White from the Berks County United Way. I would like to also ask our staff uniserves to please stand. I'm not going to introduce our Region Field Director, Walt Wojcik. And I saw Debbie and Joanne. They're outside? Okay. They're the ones that really run this organization. And last but not, or second to last but not least, I would like to introduce our entertainment tonight, Rita Cortez and her Emmaus High School Chorale. They will be entertaining us in a few minutes. And now it's an honor to introduce my friend and our Eastern Region President, Brian Sagadino.
Thank you. Tim. My friends and colleagues, as we gather to celebrate the new year, we find ourselves at the precipice. 2 months from tomorrow, you and I and millions of Pennsylvanians will make a choice that will literally affect us and our students for the rest of our lives. Our futures and the futures of those who depend on us depend on how deeply committed we are to promoting the promise of public education and how serious we are about making a world of difference for our members and the students we serve. Because 2 months from tomorrow, our worlds will be indelibly shaped by the outcome of the Pennsylvania gubernatorial election. For the past 64 years, the candidate who has won the majority of the 5 counties from within our region has gone on to become governor. And since 1990, every county within Eastern Region has voted as a block for the same candidate, which means as Eastern Region goes, so goes the governorship. That is why, my friends and colleagues, you are so vital to what happens to public education, not only here in this region, but throughout the Commonwealth. Our Governor, Tom Wolf, is a true friend of public education. He restored his predecessors' barbaric budget cuts and believes that those who work and learn in our public schools deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. He has shown PSEA unprecedented support, has made historic investments in our schools, and cares so much about what we have to say that he asked his running mate to be with us here tonight.
That's me.
Tom Wolf has served with honor and integrity and has nobly stood alongside us to deflect the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune that are continuously hurled at us by an anti-public education legislature. He has championed our cause over the past 4 years, and he leaves no doubt that he will continue to do so over the next 4. But his opponent leaves no doubts either. Scott Wagner has declared war on public education and on all the rights and benefits that our union has worked for decades to attain. He is a millionaire who decries that working people make too much money. From a chartered helicopter, he declares that our public schools don't need any more help or resources. He has declared that 10% of our teachers throughout the state could be fired and we would never be missed. And most outrageously, He has compared our brothers and sisters, our fellow union members, to Adolf Hitler. This man wants to be our governor, and there's no guesswork involved. Under a Governor Scott Wagner, Pennsylvania will become a no rights at work state. Just cause and due process will disappear. Our contracts and the rights and benefits therein will vanish. Our salaries will be slashed. Guaranteed personal, sick, and bereavement days will disappear, and seniority rights will cease to exist. Our ESP locals will be torn apart due to mass subcontracting. Our association will be unable to collect the resources needed to serve and retain our members. Tuition voucher programs will unconstitutionally and systematically divert funding from our public schools, leading to the reduction, suspension, and elimination of educational opportunities for all of our students. And some of our schools will even be shuttered, privatized, or taken over by the state. Our retired members, whom Scott Wagner calls the greediest generation, will see their pensions gutted. Our student PSEA numbers will diminish, and our health care benefits and workplace protections will be eviscerated. This is not hyperbole. This is not fear-mongering. This is his campaign platform. When Scott Wagner becomes governor, he will finish what Tom Corbett started. That is why Eastern PSEA, what we do over the next 2 months, will determine what we are able to do over the next 2 decades. If your family were under attack, would you stand idly by and let it happen? Or would you fight to protect your family from harm? Well, my brothers and sisters, our union family is under attack. And that is why we must do everything we can to fervently defend and safeguard all that we hold dear. Our students and their families are counting on us. Our aspiring educators, college students, and retirees are counting on us. Our communities are counting on us. And our association members from throughout this Commonwealth are counting on us. They are counting on us to do what we do best, make a world of difference. Every single day, that is what we do. It's not only what we do, it is who we are. We are difference makers. We are world changers. And we are the people who do what is right. We strive to make a positive difference in the lives of others. But every single decision we make is directly affected by those who make decisions that directly affect us. That is why, as long as politicians are involved in education, we educators must remain involved in politics. Whether that entails learning how to speak to a legislator, knocking on doors and canvassing for pro-public education candidates, or simply sharing with your friends and family the candidates' points of view, it is our duty to educate everybody who lives in this Commonwealth that the polls mean nothing if we don't vote. Over the past 8.5 months, I have embarked on a personal fitness and wellness journey, during which I've discovered better balance and wellness than I've ever known. However, I know that I must maintain my focus. I cannot ever get lazy, because if I ever forget how bad I used to feel, the struggles I endured, or how long it took me to get here, I could lose it all. And the same thing goes with our activism. After enduring 4 years of Tom Corbett, we were in bad shape. Rampant furloughs, archaic budget cuts, and the elimination of educational opportunities for our students devastated public schools throughout this Commonwealth. But over the past 4 years, we have found new balance and wellness because of Tom Wolf. However, if we lose our focus, if we get lazy, if we forget how bad it used to be, if we forget the struggles we endured, or if we forget how long it took to get here, we could lose it all. And then, not only will we be failing our members, but we will fail the 192,000 public school children in the Eastern region, our college students in Eastern Region, and the 1.7 million public school students throughout this state who are counting on us to protect and preserve the promise of public education. Therefore, we cannot, we must not, and we will not back down from our advocacy efforts. We cannot, we must not, and we will not allow ourselves to become complacent, apathetic, or indifferent about this election. And we cannot, we must not, and we will not ever apologize for standing up for the rights and the well-being of our members and the students that we serve. No matter who we are, where we work, or what we do, our profession has given us the extraordinary privilege of being able to make a world of difference in the lives of others. And that is something truly worth fighting for with passion and purpose. It is my honor as your region president to represent a group of people so deeply committed to the success of our members and students. But I need you over the next 2 months to take that commitment to a whole new level. I need you to be tireless. I need you to be relentless. And I need you to please make this the last time I ever need to use the name Scott Wagner in a speech. Please. There is a serenity prayer that talks about accepting the things that we cannot change. But like fellow educator Angela Davis, I instead plan on changing the things that I cannot accept. And I cannot accept anybody at any level preventing us from providing our students with a high quality, thorough, and efficient system of public education that they are guaranteed by the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. As Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. So let us make a world of difference for our students and members so that they might make their difference in the world. Let us never yield in the face of adversity from doing what is right. Let us never stop fighting for better learning conditions for our students and better working conditions for our members. And let us never forget how important and impactful our jobs truly are. Through your commitment and your compassion, you inspire your students, you inspire your colleagues, and you inspire your region officers. So on behalf of all of us, thank you for all that you do to make the world a better place. May God bless you, God bless our public schools, and God bless Eastern Region, PSEA. It is now my distinct honor. I told somebody today at work, if you would have told me when I was a little kid I get to hang out with all these bigwig politicians, I would have never believed it, and I did. So now it is my distinct honor, if we do our job right, to introduce the next Lieutenant Governor of Pennsylvania, Mayor John Fetterman.
What he said. Yeah, that's pretty darn comprehensive right there. You know, let me get into it. Like, I'm willing to bet though, I cannot fit through this. Okay, maybe someone else, but I can't get through this. Okay, and you're talking about planets, and I was honored to be part of the Saturn group. For some reason, I feel that Scott Wagner is Uranus. Not sure why, it just feels that way. But no, I just want to say what an honor it is to be here with you tonight. I am the proud product of public education. I am Central York High in York, PA, class of 1987. Yes. I was explaining to my kids what a Sony Walkman was the other day. And I'm so proud of today's young people. I meet so many of them. even though Scott Wagner thinks they're young and naive, that they're out knocking on doors, they're politically engaged. I was listening to Poison and growing out a mullet, when I was that age. But I feel like I've gotten my act together a little bit more. But as I said, a proud product of public education. Also, my roots in Berks County here run incredibly deep as well, too. I was born in Reading Hospital. Both sets of my grandparents, who also were public school educators, born in Berks County, buried here in Berks County. When I would go visit my grandmother, she lived so close in Temple, PA, that my siblings and I used to walk to Shell's Dairy Swirl and play miniature golf. Anyone remember those? And I also did my undergraduate work at Albright College. So I'm honored to say that 31 years ago tonight, I was at my first college football, playing my first college football game. That's how much things have changed. And it's just an honor to be back here tonight. And let me just say and echo what you said tonight. Unions and the union way of life is facing a true existential threat with Scott Wagner's candidacy in Pennsylvania, And that's a fact. He has openly said, can I see hands of teachers in the room or past or present? Scott Wagner, as he said, literally, and this isn't made up, literally said, 10% of you out of here, we won't even miss it, we won't even notice. That's a man who is contemptuous of your profession. That's a man who has openly called for the end of your way of life. And I guarantee you, a Koch brothers founded organization has already drafted the right to work legislation to break your union should Scott Wagner get elected within the first month of 2019. I can promise you. Scott Wagner, anyone ever see the movie Austin Powers? When he's like, my inner monologue, did I just say that out loud? When somebody asked Scott, why won't you release your tax return so we can know where you're coming from? He actually said, it's like, if you found out how much I made, my workers would want to unionize and get their fair share. And it's like, did I just say that out loud, This is the kind of man that he really is. This is the kind of man who knows that he makes millions of dollars and thinks you're greedy, thinks you need to be broken, thinks you need to answer to him. And let me tell you, a Scott Wagner governorship and a Republican legislature would open the gates to Betsy DeVos to turn Pennsylvania's public school system into a for-profit private lab. I promise you that would be part of the agenda as well, too. So I'm not exaggerating, and if I had to critique my profession and our practitioners, I think too often we'll say, this is the election of a lifetime, it's the election of a lifetime. So I don't want to sound like a chicken dinner, but this really is the most important, midterm election of our lifetime. Because in Pennsylvania, it's all on the line. It really is. And I've put nearly 65,000 miles on my truck to get out to as many of Pennsylvania's counties as I possibly can. And I believe every county, every vote. And whether I have the privilege of speaking to one union member or a room full of union members, I implore you, vote your job, vote your students, vote your communities, vote your family on this, okay? Pick 10 issues politically that I believe in. You might differ. I encounter that across Pennsylvania. I was proud to stand with steel workers 3 or 4 days ago, as they were being threatened with lockout in a town called Clareton out west where I live. But I hope I have the chance to have your back. And I know Governor Wolf has your back. And Governor Wolf took one-term Tom's cuts, restored them, And under no circumstance, he is the firewall that protects unions and their membership in Pennsylvania. And I am proud to be his member of the team, to have his back. But we need all of you to have our back so we can deliver for you guys. Like, honestly. And I know, I would say to a high degree of confidence, you're all going to vote. You're all going to vote. But we all know that we have 4, 5, maybe more, 10 people in our neighborhood, in our family. And we all have the angry fox watching that, isn't reachable. But there are a lot of people that say, hey, you know what, you really need I really need you to vote. It's really important because there are so many other things that are on the line. How many think it's pretty nice that almost 800,000 Pennsylvanians have access to health care because my running mate expanded health care in Pennsylvania? I think so. And women's health care is on the ballot in 2018. There's just so very much. And, again, this is a man who literally claims he's angered, that's his choice of word, angered, that seniors' retirement income isn't taxed in Pennsylvania. This is a man who won't show his own taxes. I'm here to ask for your support because I have 3 young children and I'm genuinely motivated to make sure they don't grow up in a Pennsylvania that is stripped of all of the things that I hold dear as a Democrat, and labor is top of that list as far as I'm concerned, and the right to organize, and the right to look out for your charges, your students. Because I'm a proud member and product of public education, I know what that means. And I don't want Betsy DeVos thinking, woo, we got a whole state as an education lab now. I'd like to send her to her $40 million yacht, And I want Scott Wagner to go back to Penn Waste, where he belongs. We need each and every one of you, and we need each and every one of you to bring 5, 10, or more people. Knock on doors. Support Governor Wolf's campaign. Whatever you can do, I am humbly begging you, vote your union, vote your schools, vote your students. It is a tremendous honor to be here tonight. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you. Dinner with you. We have 4.5 hours back tonight, and then an early morning. So I have to leave, but honestly, thank you for such an incredibly warm reception, and please enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you.
Thank you again. Okay, and the best thing is, he's leaving with a Redford Ed Eastern PSEA bracelet. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your dinner, and while we are doing dinner, we are going to be graced with the talents of the Emmaus High School Chorale. So enjoy.